To me, kf1 is...
He's in the barrier, that's a huge mistake.
You need to be able to get every lap. You need to be able to overtake...
Has made the overtake on
any corner.
and Leafstar has made the overtake on the inside.
I mean, those one-day bans that do go hard. I mean, we've seen a few of them at a lot of our drivers because they do stupid things, cough Danish, but looks like it's going to be a pretty good race. The grid's looking kind of good. I haven't seen play games, actually. So that's a bit of a hiccup there on behalf of that team. I forgot what team he drives for, but it's fine.
Yeah, play games. He's a pretty good driver. He can get into the points, get a podium. He hasn't really secured that much wins in his career yet, but I'm sure he'll get up to that point. I was talking with my beautiful man Lightning, Lightning, and he was saying how he thinks he might be able to put in a good race for us. He feels like he's ready, but really, we all know who we think is going to win, and who we know who we all want to win. It's definitely Ruben. He's done amazing in Jurong, a P1, beautiful lap, beautiful racing. He's an amazing driver. He can do everything well, corners, straights, exits. He's amazing at it, and anything you tell him to do, he can do well. So we'll see how he goes. Even Leafstar, another amazing driver. He wasn't able to catch Ruben in the end's last race, but we all know he is a world champion, and we all know he can, bounce back from that little loss and maybe come back here in round 2. But we'll see what happens. It's a pretty big race for all the drivers. We're back here at home, back here in clockwise, and it's a great place to race. 18 corners, 960 meters in length, and it's absolute cracker to watch, an amazing thing to watch. You got windy corners, they're hard to get through. You got beautiful straights that you need very good exit speed for. It's a hard track to get through, but once you unlock it, it's pretty easy.
Alright, and looking at the timings right now, Leafs is sitting at provisional pole with a 43.833 so far, followed by Utah and Deadly Tim. Personally, I think the fight's really between Ruben and Leafster. Unbiased as well. I might seem biased since Ruben drives for me, but personally, as his team boss, I haven't really seen him practice that much for this race. So it's gonna be interesting how he fares against Leafster, because I know Leafster's been doing a lot of practice for Crunchy right now. But honestly, my race predictions are unbiased as well. I'd say Ruben's probably going to be up there, maybe for the win. It's, like I said, between Leafster and Ruben for the win. Tim's also looking pretty fast, so I think it's between those three for that P1 position. Qualifying, I still think Leafster's going to take pole. He's always been pretty good with his one-lap pace. So we've still got quite a few minutes of qualifying to go. Still about 13 minutes, something like that. So anything can happen, really. But yeah, my predictions are Ruben, followed by Leafster, followed by Tim for the final result today.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good prediction, honestly, and how it's been going. Really, last race it was very close with all the drivers at the front. It was bumper to bumper racing throughout the whole race, but it's a different track. A lot of things can happen, but yeah, I think the same. Leafster and Ruben look too good at the moment. But let's go head over to Void. What do you got for this race?
For my top 3 predictions, I have the same predictions as Crocs. If Play Games was present, I would put Play Games at third. I don't think Tim will be P3 today, but he has the highest chance of getting P3, especially after he's fixed his internet issues since Geelong in the first round.
Yeah. Play Games has always been pretty strong at Cranji, but as a former driver here as well, even with the Cranji revamp, I've always felt the laps are pretty inconsistent. You never really have the same grip through every corner, the same turning, but that's just bound to happen. But somehow Ruben and Leafs are just sort of able to switch that on every lap, and they bring the pace to incredible levels. But watching qualifying now, I'm seeing quite a few people spinning, quite a few people understeering and hitting the barrier pretty hard. Danish being one of them. Yeah, that's not a good one coming from my own driver, but I didn't expect much from Danish anyways, so it's fine.
Yeah, I can't really say anything as I am really not that much of a driver type. That's why I'm here speaking with you. But yeah, it's looking pretty sloppy at the moment for qualifying. But there has been some pretty good laps. Leafs are currently provisional pole with a 43.29279 with he set that just last lap. So it's looking pretty okay right now. The race is going to be filled with a lot of mistakes, but that will just make it even more fun. So it'll definitely spice up the race a bit.
Yeah, Leafs is just edging his time further and further each lap. He's just getting his pace in. He looks like he's settling into a rhythm for qualifying. Ruben's also gone second now for 43.504. So there's quite a bit of a gap to Leafster, but Leafster being the track record holder and also having practiced here a lot, I think it's kind of expected for him to take pole, really.
Yeah, most races he has taken pole, but sometimes not been able to put it into a race win. But it happens. It happened in Geelong. Yeah, we'll see what happens. He isn't that best on the starts as well. He's kind of like Max. He's fast, but he isn't good on those race starts. As we see Jeff into the barriers. But anyways, so we'll see what happens. Last race, he literally went all the way down from that race start. It didn't go well at all. We'll see what happens into the race, but it's looking like Leafster might get pole at the moment. Ruben is still just behind there, but for now we're looking at a Leafster pole. Void, who do you think is gonna get pole here?
Leafster's definitely getting pole. I don't think Leafster gets pole, but Ruben has better race pace over Leafster. Leafster just more prone to mistakes. It's happened in Geelong. It's happened in many other races last season in winter. But you expect that from a new driver. And apparently, Tim has had controller issues, the same ones from Geelong as well. So I might bump down Tim to anywhere from P5 to P10 after these issues.
Yeah, yeah. Let's also talk about how CM Racing they were having a bit of problems with their carts as well in Geelong. I don't know if that will carry over, to here in Kranji clockwise, but and anything can happen. It's life really, but we'll see how CM Racing goes with their controller issues, with their cart issues, with everything. But it's a bit of a hit and miss. They all reported problems, but we'll see what happens. It's gonna it might affect them, it might not, but it's a new race, it's a new week. Let's see if it's fixed.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Leafs has always been pretty quick around here. So I think he's gonna take pole. He's got quite a substantial gap right now, about 3/10 towards Ruben. But as Void said, Ruben tends to have better race pace. When I found him, he actually came from a different league, But he had incredible race pace there, so I really wanted to give him a chance, and it paid off at the end.
Definitely does. Yeah, he is an amazing driver. At the moment,
Yeah,
but
I'm just worried about constructors on a biased point this time. We've only got 3 drivers in, as Epic Lexa decided to pull a Noah Bow this weekend and go skiing last minute. So that's really unfortunate. I don't really have any other stand-in drivers that are quick enough to fill that. Oh, Leafs seems a bit unhappy. Oh, he's just in 42.9. He's just missed out on the world record.
yeah,
That is 42.95 compared to his world record of a 42.92. Wow. Okay. Yeah,
insanely
I
quick.
think. Yeah, I think that's kind of secured him. I think a bit of an underdog going into this seems to be Utah, actually. Is pretty consistent with his times right now. But Jeff is cool sitting at P3. What in the world has Jeff pulled out of the bag today? Okay, I'm not complaining though.
Yeah, Utah, he did pretty well in Jurong as well. He surprisingly, I was even pretty shocked. How he did in Jurong. He secured some good points. As well.
Yeah. Looks like he's also kind of carrying that over into Cranji. It's pretty close between the top 10, actually. Or I say that, let's just say between the top 8, it's pretty close. And then you get Leafs, who's gone and nearly broken the world record.
Yeah.
I honestly think Utah has quite a bit of potential. He's quite a bit of an underdog right now. Player sitting in at P4 currently, uh, with a 40. Yeah, it's very close between the like 4, I'd say, other than Leafster. Otherwise, it's Ruben with a 43.504, followed by Jeff with a 43.508. So 4 thousandths of a second separating those two, followed by Player Yes with a 43.525. So there's something. It's going to be quite a good battle by the looks of it. Um, it's just really who gets a better start and who gets a better run.
Oh!
Oh, and Roby
Oh,
Lobo
Rob!
has
Oh,
gone and
Rob!
set. He's nearly set the world
Oh my
record. Missed
God!
it out by a couple
Oh my
100th
God!
of a second.
Oh my God! What has just happened? I also told you, Rob. He was looking like to go pretty insane here, and he has done what I just said. He's got a 42.933.
Rob has done the unthinkable right now. He snatched provisional pole off of Leafster by a substantial 200ths of a second. It doesn't seem like much, but when it's Leafster you're talking about, that's quite a considerable gap, and he's nearly touched the world record as well. The previous world record being a 42.92. So he's a 100th off of the world record, which is incredible. I wonder if Leafster can top that. He's going to have to break the world record to do that. I think Rob might have provisional pole in the bag here.
Yeah.
You expect this? Yeah, you expect this from a summer champion? Yeah, 2022 summer, Rob won. In autumn and winter, he didn't really show. In winter, he only participated in 1 race, and now he's back.
Yeah.
Rob
was telling
I think he might be in for a podium.
Rob was telling me how last season he's so annoyed. He's back in 14th place. All these new faces are so faster than him. But then he decided, like, what's the point of just saying, oh, they're faster than me? Let's do a little bit of training. That's exactly what he's done, and he's gotten back into the glory days. Somehow got into the 42s, which Leafs didn't even think he could. No one thought he could. Even just then, we were speaking about Leaf stuff. Oh yeah, he's gonna do this. Yeah, all he really needs to do is just chill at the moment. But he doesn't. Rob has just demolished his time, and Lisa is gonna have to break the world record to do this, and I don't think he might be able to. But there's still a minute and a half left. Anything can happen really here. We'll just have to see what will happen. Will Lisa be able to get pole, or will Rob just be able to clutch onto that pole right now? There's
On another note, everyone's going faster, and it looks like Leafster could actually snatch that provisional pole back. He set a personal best on the first sector, but it seems like Leaf's strong point is the second sector, whereas Rob's is the third sector. So it's a very tight battle between those two. Everyone else has seemed to improve as well. Ruben with a 43.183 so far. Jeff has gone down to a 43.479, but other than that, no one's really improving.
Yeah, not at all. Just need to wait. It's coming down to the final moments of qualifying, and to where they're gonna have to set in their final times. But
I
it's
think
looking
Rob's just
close.
done something unthinkable. Bit of a glory lap there. We'll see if he can carry that pace through to the actual race, but so far it looks like he could do that. I'm watching everyone's like laps as they go by. Ruben and Leafstar are very solid on consistent pace. They're very close. They're both doing about 43 ones to about 43 threes consistently, which is pretty substantial. I mean, that's faster than most of the time set, and they're doing that every lap. It looks like it's going to be very close between those two. Rob, I haven't seen a time since he set that provisional pole lap. I think he's just basking it, taking it in, basking in a little bit.
Yeah, this is insane what we're seeing from Rob. Absolutely. We didn't never even thought he was gonna be at the top. He wasn't even any race prediction in the top three. Somehow he's done this, and I think he might just be able to hold on to this. We're coming into the final moments, and that is the checkered flag. It's their final laps coming in now. Will anyone be able to improve? It's the final lap of qualifying.
It
Anything
doesn't
can.
look like anybody's going to improve. It looks like everybody's finished their laps.
What will happen? I don't think we might get anyone else. Let's see.
On another note, Leafster on his final lap set a 43.091.
That's
Very close to his personal best in this session so far. So it looks like Leaf was trying his hardest to put on a fight for provisional pole, but he just couldn't set it together. A couple people spinning at the final corner, one of them being Deadly Tim. People finishing off their lap so far, but I think it's solidified. That is Roby Lobo on pole position for round 2 of the kf1 spring season, followed by Leafster, followed by Ruben, followed by Jeff, followed by Playes, Utah, Deadly Tim, Nicklin, Jackson, Fotaras, Megan Mog, Tripton, Ball Gobbler 14, aka Danish, Kailu, Steb, and Lazy Chris. That sums up the drivers' standings so far for qualifying. Let's see what they can put together in the race.
this is insane what we're seeing. Rob P1, absolutely incredible driving from him there. But also we got Jeff P4. I wonder how he just pulled that off there, and then Ruben just not being able to get that qualifying pace. He got close, 43.183, almost getting into the 42s, but the only people getting into the 42s today is Rob and Leafster, but we never know. The race pace on Rob and Leafster, they're not amazing, but we all know Ruben, he can have some good race pace. We'll see what happens. But we'll get back to you soon. We will talk to Meg, CM Racing driver. We'll talk to him just in a second. We will be right back.
Is it muted?
So welcome, Meg.
Hello.
Welcome back to another race. It's been insane. Rob P1. No one ever thought that was going to happen. How do you think this?
Amazing for the team.
How do you think this qualifying has gone so far?
Rob P1, Leafstern, and Ruben. I thought maybe he'd be up in pole, but I mean he's very close to them, and he is on P3. So
Yeah. So how do you rate your qualifying right there?
horrible. I could have went faster. I was just all over the place, sliding and stuff.
Yeah, we were noting in the commentary box that it was pretty sloppy driving from most of the drivers today. What does it feel like out there on the track?
Horrible. 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 Horrible.
Are you guys still having
Like
are you guys still having that problem with the carts?
I'm not using CM cart.
Alright.
I've got to go anyway because I'm going out. I'm not going to be at the race, but hopefully the team can do something good.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for talking with us on stream. I hope you have a good time. But yeah, great qualifying from you.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's many ladies here, but that's besides the point. The race is about to start. Everyone's on their formation lap. Kraft is sitting at the start-finish line, waiting for everyone to line up. So a recap of our starting position for anybody that's just joined the stream. Rob is on pole position, followed by Leafster, Ruben, Jeff, Playes, Yuta, Deadly Tim, Nicklin, Jackson, Fataras. Megan Moggs said he's actually not going to be participating in the race as he has to go, followed by Tripton Boy, War Gobbler 14, Kailu, Steb, and Lazy Chris. That sums up our grid and starting position for the round 2 of the spring season. Everybody's lining up. The cart of choice seems to be the Fernando Alonso cart, actually. Most of the drivers are opting to use that, followed by the odd person using their team carts. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get the drivers actually properly lined up in the grid, which takes a while. But for now, we're gonna quickly head over to the race intro, and we'll get back to you guys just soon. Welcome to the kf1 Spring Round 2 Clockwise Grand Prix. This is an insane Grand Prix, 960 meters in track length and 18 corners with beautiful straights and crazy corners. Even from corners 6, 7, and 8, they're windy, they're crazy, they're hard to get through. Then to the main straight where most of the overtaking happens. It's all about getting a good exit here. But thank you for sticking around here, and we hope you get to see this beautiful race.
Okay, apologies for the soft intro there. We're gonna fix that for the next stream, hopefully. It looks like everybody's ready. There's yeah, some people are doing some funny things on the grid, but the timer has been reset. The race is going to start anytime now. The announcement to watch the lights has been given out. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. The clutches have been released, and it looks like Lisa gets quite a good start, followed by Rob, who's also got a pretty good start. Ruben follows them into turn 1. I can't see anything from here, so I'm gonna let Fear take over.
Yeah, Rob currently leading at the moment into the hairpin. Drivers are going wide and crazy at the moment. I can't see that much, but yes, it's Rob leading far ahead, creating a very big gap right there, as we see just behind. That's Leafster and Ruben just behind. And no, Rob has fallen down by a mistake going into the barrier as we finish lap 1. It's Jack leading, Utah behind, and Rob P3. And Ruben P3. Rob and Leafster have fallen down, having a little bit of a clash into the barriers. But Jack has somehow popped into P1 and is leading the race at the moment. Utah just behind, followed by Ruben. What can happen here?
Actually, looks like Utah's taken him.
Oh,
Looks like a
And
few
there's
drivers are
Rob.
struggling with lag at the moment. It looks like Ruben's taking the lead. Ruben is slotting in 6,000ths behind Jackson, but all of the Vortex drivers seem to have had a pretty decent start, actually. Utah's in P3, followed by Play Yes and Rob, who suffered from a pretty substantial mistake, who's got Leafster for company there, followed by Deadly Tim, Fotaras, and Lazy Chris. And you've also got Danish summing up the top 10 there. It's pretty tight at the front, but it looks like Ruben's pulling away from what I can see. Jackson's still following pretty closely behind. Utah is dropping off a little bit.
oh,
I
Ruben
think
made a mistake.
they're suffering with lag. Ruben's made a mistake. It looks like Jackson's taken back that position. Utah's still sitting there. Leafster's in P3 at the moment. And he's hit the wall! Leafs has hit the wall! He's come to a dead stop! That might be Leafster's race done. Leafster hit the wall on the exit of the final corner. Came to a complete stop. Oh, that's not good for Leafster's race at all.
Oh, someone else made a mistake. Oh,
Jackson's doing a very good job of leading right now. Followed by Ruben and Utah. I think Utah was the underdog here. It seems Tim and Leafster are struggling quite a bit. Jeff has dropped back pretty far to P11. I think lag's a pretty big issue right now. I did hear a lot of people complaining about it before the race. But, wow. It looks like Ruben's taken back the lead, still followed by Utah, followed by Players, followed by Jackson, followed by Rob. It looks like Ruben's pulling out from Utah though. Those two are kind of running away with it at the moment. Yes, 1.6 seconds behind Ruben. So 0.8 of a second behind Utah. Jackson's made another mistake as I'm on board of him right now. I think the pressure's getting to him a little bit after that amazing start by him. Leafs is making a recovery drive at the moment, P6, but he's still 4 seconds behind Ruben. I wonder if he can pull this together. At the end of the day, it is still lap A5 of an 18-lap race. People making mistakes, hitting the walls at the third sector.
Yeah,
Ruben has a 1.3 second gap. Utah's made a mistake somewhere along the line. Leafs is up into P4, followed by Deadly Tim, who seems to be following him through. Jackson's dropping down. Rob is not coping with the lag, probably. Jeff has dropped down. So is Ball Gobbler 14, aka Danish. It's quite a big lead that Ruben's pulling here. I don't think Leafs is closing in enough.
Yeah, Ruben currently leading. He's increasing that gap just behind with Players. Jackson was not able to deal with that pressure there. So he came out of nowhere and with a beautiful start into P1, but he's dropped back down. Now crossing line, Ruben just P1 he's created a pretty big gap. Now 2 seconds. Utah behind in P2 with Players P3, leaves the P4. And Deadly Tim P5, that's what we're looking at right now. And Rob is dropping position after position at the moment. It's not looking good for him at the moment at all. He's not looking the best. And I don't think he will be able to recover from that. But we still have tons of laps left for this to happen. And Ruben doing a little power slide out of the hairpin. Not that much big of a mistake, but pretty much he's leading by a lot. But now Utah has come out of nowhere and is just behind, closing the gap. Closing the gap. Can he somehow make a terrific move through these first few corners?
I was going to add in that Jeff held the fastest lap of the race with a 43.6, but on that lap alone, Utah and Leafster have gone and set new faster laps than that. Leafster for 43.5 and Utah for 43.4. Ruben's sitting in the low 44s. He's not really going faster than that, but he's holding that consistently, and I'm not seeing that coming from Leafster or Utah. They're kind of popping those laps in every now and then, but still very fast laps. I'm seeing a few mistakes being made further down the field. It's looking pretty like a pretty dominant drive from Ruben at the moment. Now pulled out 4 seconds on Play Yes, who's followed by Utah, with Leafs a very close company, only 100th of a second separating the two, followed by Debliton, who's looks to be out of the fight as well. So as it stands right now, and as I've said, anything's possible. Ruben is running away with the race at the moment, with Players sitting 4 seconds behind, yet a second clear of the next group, which is Utah and Leafster, who seem to be battling out for the final podium position.
Yeah, Utah a few laps ago had a huge mistake going wide, losing a lot of time, and Ruben is absolutely flying away with this. 4 seconds to Leafster, who's just popped up into P2. Utah is still behind Leafster. He can sort of pull out a move.
Play Yes made a mistake. And that was a very big mistake. Play Yes had over a second on them.
Yeah, Play Yes,
Wow.
he's on Utah. On the inside, can he make the move? Now coming into the hairpin.
Oh!
Play Esper. Oh no! That's Rob! He's got stuck in the barriers just there. Yeah, and he's
Oh, no.
he's
It's a
retiring from the
DNF for
race.
Rob.
And there
It
goes
looks like the
Rob.
lag's gotten to him.
He retired from the race. From a race we all thought he might get a podium. It's definitely not happens, and that's super sad for Rob right now.
Looks like the lag is getting to everyone at the moment.
It definitely is a bit more laggy than usual.
That was very unfortunate for the pole sitter, but mistakes do happen, and this is kf1. Especially on this track, Kranji is not forgiving with mistakes that you do.
Speaking of mistakes, I've just seen Tripton spin out at turn 1. He's quite far down the field, but it seems as if everyone's struggling for grip at this point in time.
Yeah.
But coming in and looking at our positions, Ruben running away with the race, 4 seconds to Leafster at the moment. Followed by Playes, who is a 2.5 behind Leafster. Ute has made a massive mistake somewhere along the line. He's 6 seconds behind Playes. And then I think, yeah, it's not much of a recovery coming from there. Jeff, on the other hand, who started P4, dropped down all the way out of the points, has now come back to P7 at the moment. A few people have been lapped. And Rob, as we said, DNFing out of the race. Leafster closing the gap by half a second on this lap alone, currently holding the fastest lap of a 43.3. On the other hand, Ruben stepped up his pace a bit with a 43.587 as his fastest lap. But I don't think anyone's touching Ruben. There are 5 laps remaining. Yeah, that's still in a 3.5 second gap. We'll see coming over the line now whether Ruben, who's busy lapping the back of the field, we'll see if he's extended that gap or if Leafs has pulled a miracle and closed that gap. Ruben crossing the line now. Leafs are following suit. The gap stayed the same. Both doing pretty quick times at the moment. Leafs' last lap being a 43.6, followed by Ruben with a 43.9. So they're all lapping in the 43s, that top trio. Play, yes, he is 3 seconds behind Leafster, but anything can happen. As we've seen, Leafster made that critical error early on in the race. But it seems he's recovered from that and it hasn't really affected him.
Yeah, we still got a bit of the race to go, but Leafster, he is kind of still closing the gap on Ruben. It's coming down. It's for now to
6/10 on that lap alone. Leafs has gone and set a new fastest lap of the race with a 43.2.
Yeah, Leafster's definitely
He is
catching
really
Ruben.
pushing.
Leafster
Ruben, he's
is
still
putting everything in
sitting
it.
in the mid 43s, but I think Leafster could close in. It's going to be very close indeed, but Leafster seems to be giving it his all right now, so there could be a mistake to have had towards the end of the race. I believe Ruben's coming through the final sector right now. We're going to see what the gap is. It's looking pretty visibly close. On screen, obviously, it's misleading because it's Roblox. But Ruben crosses the line. The gap is 2.9 seconds. It stayed the same. Ruben still not improving. He set his personal best lap, which is still only good for the 3rd fastest lap of the race. So it looks like Leafs is going to get that additional bragging rights of fastest lap, setting a very quick 43.2.
Yeah, if Leafs can hold on to this great form, to these great consistency, Leafs can easily start to catch up to Ruben, and maybe we might even see a little bit of the fight into these last final laps. But let's go head down to Void. He's in the pits right now. What are you seeing right now?
I am seeing Ruben and Leaf. I think the top 2 have already, unless Ruben makes a mistake, I think the top 2 have been settled. I do hope that Ruben makes a mistake, just so that we can see some more battling up front. But with the amount of mistakes that Leafster has made this race, I don't see it happening. Leafster was very good in the start, unlike last race, but it's kind of a consistency issue.
Yeah, in a realistic point of view, we are entering the final lap in a second now. Ruben leading the race with a current gap of 4 seconds to Leafster. Actually, looks like Leafster's closed the gap quite a lot on this one. Oh, it's only closed by 8 attempts. I believe that's race over. Unless Ruben makes a very huge mistake. It looks like Leafster is going to have to settle for P2, 3 seconds behind Ruben.
Yeah.
Followed by Players, who's 4 seconds ahead of Utah. Utah was running a very solid race. They both made quite a few mistakes. We haven't factored in corner cuts into this, corner cut penalties. I'm looking at the corner cuts, and there's quite a few people with quite a few corner cuts.
Yeah.
Substantially, we have Kai, who's got 10 corner cuts.
Ruben now coming around the final corner, and
to take the checkered flag.
And
Yes.
everyone is going to
Leafster,
see him, and he
2.4
wins.
seconds behind. P2.
Followed
very
by
intense
Players.
race.
P3.
Players finishing off the podium.
There was a battle in
Wow.
midfield for quite a bit, but nothing really happened. All I'm seeing now is just people trying to fight.
Leafster sealing the fastest lap of the race with a 43.0. He said he understeered sector 3, so that could have been a world record lap there. But wow, what a drive by Ruben. And in an unbiased point of view, very dominant, leading by over 2 seconds basically the whole race. Wow.
Absolutely incredible race right there from Ruben. He did not make that much mistakes, and it definitely paid off. Leafster, he was struggling for grip all around the track, and especially people struggling with lag. But Ruben, it doesn't affect him. He just goes through it easily gets these wins. It's incredible how he just did that. Just leading by 4 seconds to 2 seconds the whole race. It was insane how what he just pulled off right there. But but it does mean